Guys, we are back to the next topic, which is called marking danger zone SNR. Now this is very crucial. How do we mark the danger zone so that we know that whenever a price react, we know that the price react at the right zone, not at a fake out zone or not at other places, but at the real zone that we mark. Therefore, please pay attention. It's going to be easy. It's not going to be very hard. Just learn the step and do it correctly and discipline yourself. Everything will be fine, because we do not want to be manipulated by price when price hasn't reached the real zone. So let's get into the topic right now. There are actually 4 steps to mark the danger zone in SNR. It is very easy, isn't it? So step 1, we go to our monthly or the weekly or the daily time frame. Okay, for currency pairs. Gold you can use as well on the H4 when it is on sideways, when there are no news. But when there are news, you need to use the daily time frame and above. Step 2, change to line chart. Step 3, put a horizontal line at the edge of support and resistance and the second movement. 4th, we change back to our candlestick. Mark the zone from the edge of the support or the resistance all the way to the shadow or the wick, you want to call it. So I'll show you the example on the next slide. So the first thing, we start from the monthly or weekly time frame. But for me, preferably, I would love to use the weekly time frame for currency pairs. As for gold, you can use the H4 time frame, no issue. But remember guys, when there is news soon, do not use the H4 time frame. It will be easily break out. Please use the daily time frame or the weekly time frame or the monthly time frame. It's fine. At the end of this course, I'm going to teach you how to use gold to trade on the M1. Don't get so excited yet with the gold. We will have even a better ways to trade on the gold for scalpers. Next, we just need to change to the line chart, which is the second step. The third step is to put a horizontal line at the edge of the support or the resistance. Now guys, when we want to put this horizontal line, we just put the price that is near to the current price. We don't have to put every single thing on here, on here, on here, or here, because the price is currently in this area. Therefore, we just mark at the price. You can mark here, it's fine. This is a resistance as well. Let me draw that for you. Sorry, not the resistance. This is a support as well. You can mark this as a support. No issue. This is a resistance, support in this area. Okay, so just mark somewhere near the current price. Don't have to mark here, here, here. It's too far away. All right. We just want something that is near to the current price so that our chart will look cleaner and easier to monitor. And guys, once we have marked our support, our resistance closest to our current price, next, don't forget to mark our second movement. So this resistance will be a strong resistance when there is a second movement. This support will be a strong support when there is a second movement. This support will be a strong support when there is a second movement on the right side. So remember guys, the second movement for this support is on the right side. This support, the second movement, is strong when there is a second movement on the right side of this support. This resistance will be strong when there is a second movement on the right side of this resistance. Next, we change back to the candlestick chart. Mark the edge of the support from here all the way down to the shadow. So we mark from here to here. The resistance as well, mark from the edge of the resistance all the way up to the shadow. So this is our zone. From the edge of support, from the edge of resistance, mark all the way to the shadow or the wick. Same go with this one. Mark all the way to the shadow or the wick. Like in this case, there's a long wick here. What we should do is we just mark all the way which is the longest wick. Since these two wicks are the same, so it doesn't make any difference. We just mark the zone, whichever the wick is longer. I know some of you will be wondering what happened when the chart has so many edges like this. So first of all, if I were you, I would just mark whichever that is significant, like this, capital A, capital A, capital A, or this, okay? And this is the capital V, the rest is second movement. These two is considered as a second movement, second movement, second movement. So how to identify second movement? Well, there is no specific way how to identify it. I just mark it this way. I would only take like this kind of things, the one that really stands out from the rest as my significant, support, or resistance. Doesn't mean that if I don't mark it, it doesn't have any reaction. Price could be still react to it. It's just that I would prefer to have it this way for my own, so it's easy for me to monitor. Whatever happens in that zone, then I will monitor again whether there is a breakout or a rejection. I'm going to show you in an MT4 chart where they are even worse than this. So let's have a look at the MT4 chart. Okay guys, there is a question. What happens if the shadow on the left side is higher than the current A? So I'm going to show you here. We go to the line chart. I mark at the A here. This is our weekly resistance. We come back to the candlestick chart. We mark our zone from here to the edge of the resistance. Now, as you can see, this shadow is higher than here. So what happens is, if you meet this kind of situation, whatever that is on the left side from the A of the resistance here, this A, capital letter A, resistance, ignore. We only want to take the current price. That's it. Okay. Alright guys, as you can see here, this is the GBP CAD pair on the weekly time frame. If we change it to the line chart, we can see that this is very messy. So there are two ways how to trade it. First is to avoid if you don't see anything or you don't feel comfortable with looking at this chart. Secondly, if you still want to trade, no issue. Let me try and let's go with it. So first, I will normally find the closest resistance and support. This will be my resistance, the closest to this price range. Now the next support, I would choose this. Why I chose this, not this? It's because, remember guys, the second movement. So to make this support to be strong, it must have a second movement. So this is a second movement that signifies that this support will become strong. And why do I not choose this as a resistance? Because the second movement here is too close to the support. It's just that I don't want to monitor this zone. I feel that price will just not gonna react to this resistance. Okay, so there are a lot of ways you can mark here as well as your resistance. Remember guys, the danger zone that we use is just to monitor the price. All right, so you monitor the price, see whether the price gives you a rejection or a breakout. That's it, nothing more than that. Okay, just as a monitoring zone. So we just monitor, we mark the zone. If there any rejection or breakout, then only we react to the price, whether give us a rejection or breakout, then only we enter using the F5 setup. Okay guys, so let's say we want to trade on this area. I'm gonna mark this, okay, because you think that, okay, this resistance has a second movement here. So it's not that it's not, like I said, we just use it as a monitoring zone. So let's change it to the line chart and then we mark this as our zone, monitoring zone. Okay, so remember guys, from the edge of the resistance to the shadow of the candlestick. So I'm going to color this other color, probably yellow. Looks more easier that way. So in this case guys, when there's a clean breakout, you see this is a clean breakout on a weekly time frame on this resistance, then price come react the previous breakout, test it as a new support. So what we should do is that when price broke out, definitely there's a setup. So when the price broke out, we will always look at the daily time frame. So the price that broke out, this is the candle. So when there's a confirmation candle, this is the candle that we want to monitor after that. And let's look at the chart on the H4. So the breakout, let me mark again this daily candle. This is the daily candle that breaks out the weekly. Okay, broke out the weekly, and then we see whether price comes back. Do they have any rejection and go up towards the uptrend? See, there's a bullish engulfing. Upon it broke, there's a bullish engulfing on the H4. Okay, but if I were you, I wouldn't trade. But here there's a nice SNRC1 setup here. Okay, so let's me mark this as our zone. Whether we can see any confirmation on the daily time frame. A confirmation on the daily time frame, which is the double Marubozu. So this is also a good confirmation for SNRC1 setup. Okay guys, So there are a few ways you can do with it. Just as a monitoring zone, just monitor. Remember guys, the marking is always from the edge of the support or the resistance goes up to the shadow or the wick. That's it. That will be your real zone, your real monitoring zone. Okay guys, your next assignment is to do 5 screenshots of marking the danger zone for support and resistance, and it must come with a second movement. That's it. Okay, remember guys, at the edge of the support or the resistance, the zone has to be from there to the shadow or the wick of the candlestick. Keep it in the folder. Once you finish this course, you may submit your assignment later on. See you in the next class.